You pull into your driveway after a normal day. The truck feels fine. The engine sounds healthy. The transmission shifts perfectly. Nothing seems wrong. Then, without warning, a small warning light appears on the dashboard. You assume it's something minor. Maybe a loose connection. Maybe a cheap sensor. $20. A quick fix. But when you arrive at the dealership, you're handed an estimate that makes your stomach drop. $4,000. $5,000. Sometimes even more. And the most shocking part, the engine wasn't the problem. The transmission wasn't the problem. It all started with a tiny electronic sensor that costs less than dinner for two. This is the reality of modern trucks. You're not just buying steel, horsepower, and towing capacity anymore. You're buying a rolling computer with dozens of control modules, hundreds of sensors, thousands of lines of software, and a network where every component depends on another. That tiny sensor isn't working alone. It's talking to the engine computer, the transmission controller, the braking system, emissions equipment, and even advanced driver assistance features. When one piece stops communicating correctly, the truck can assume something far more serious is happening. Instead of risking damage or liability, it often limits performance, activates warning systems, or enters a reduced power mode. Suddenly, a $20 part can trigger a chain reaction that feels completely disconnected from its actual value. Here's where things become even more frustrating. Years ago, replacing a faulty sensor was often straightforward. A mechanic could identify the bad part, swap it out, clear the fault code, and send you on your way. Today's trucks are different. Many components require software initialization, calibration, relearning procedures, or secure communication with other electronic modules before the repair is considered complete. Even if the replacement part is inexpensive, the labor, diagnostic time, specialized equipment, and programming costs can quickly dwarf the price of the sensor itself. Now imagine this scenario. A wheel speed sensor begins sending inconsistent signals. The sensor itself may be inexpensive, but those signals are also used by the anti-lock braking system, stability control, traction control, adaptive cruise control, and sometimes trailer stability management. One faulty reading can confuse multiple safety systems at once. The technician can't simply guess which component failed. They have to spend time verifying wiring, connectors, software updates, calibration values, and communication between several electronic control units. Hours of diagnostics accumulate before the actual repair even begins. Then there are emissions systems. A pressure sensor or temperature sensor costing only a few dollars can influence exhaust treatment, fuel delivery, turbocharger operation, and regeneration cycles. If the truck believes emissions are out of specification, it may reduce engine performance or illuminate multiple warning lights. Owners often think the engine itself has failed when the underlying issue is nothing more than inaccurate data coming from a tiny electronic component. This isn't necessarily because manufacturers want to make repairs expensive. Modern trucks are engineered around precision. Engines produce more power while meeting stricter emissions standards. Automatic transmissions shift with incredible efficiency. Safety systems constantly monitor road conditions. All of that requires sensors feeding accurate information every second. The downside is that when one sensor fails, the truck often can't confidently determine whether the problem is small or catastrophic. The safest response from the software is usually to protect itself. But here's where many owners begin to feel the system is working against them. Independent repair shops may have the mechanical expertise to fix the problem, yet they sometimes lack access to manufacturer-specific software, calibration procedures, or secure diagnostic functions. Certain repairs require factory scan tools or subscriptions to official service information. In some cases, replacing the part is only half the job. The vehicle may still refuse to operate normally until the software recognizes, validates, and configures the new component correctly. That creates a repair chain few buyers ever think about when purchasing a new truck. A cheap part becomes expensive diagnostics. Diagnostics becomes software programming. Programming requires specialized equipment. Specialized equipment often means dealership-level service. Before long, a repair that should have taken 30 minutes becomes an all-day appointment with a bill that seems completely disconnected from the original problem. The companies designing these trucks aren't simply selling hardware anymore. They're maintaining an ecosystem where mechanical parts, electronics, software, cybersecurity, and remote updates all work together. The more integrated the system becomes, the harder it is to separate one repair from another. Convenience and capability increase, but so does complexity. Every improvement comes with another layer that must be maintained throughout the truck's life. This is the breaking point most owners never see coming. The biggest repair bill isn't always caused by the biggest failure. Sometimes it's caused by the smallest interruption in a stream of electronic data. The truck isn't reacting to the cost of the sensor. It's reacting to the importance of the information that sensor provides. Fortunately, there is a smarter way to approach ownership. Call it the repair chain strategy. Instead of judging a truck by horsepower or towing numbers alone, evaluate how repairable it will be 5 or 10 years from now. Before buying, ask how many systems depend on a single component. Ask whether replacement parts require programming. Ask if independent repair shops can perform those procedures. Find out whether software subscriptions are needed for diagnostics after the warranty expires. Learn which components commonly require recalibration after replacement. These questions reveal far more about long-term ownership costs than the price on the window sticker ever will. When warning lights appear, don't panic and don't ignore them. Address small electronic issues early, before inaccurate sensor data triggers additional problems. Use quality replacement parts when appropriate. Keep software updates current if recommended by the manufacturer. Have wiring, connectors, and battery health inspected regularly, because low voltage and poor electrical connections can create symptoms that mimic expensive component failures. Most importantly, choose technicians who understand electronic diagnostics rather than simply replacing parts until the warning light disappears. The smartest truck owners don't assume every dashboard warning means disaster. They understand that modern vehicles depend on information just as much as mechanics. They know that preventing one bad signal today may prevent thousands of dollars in unnecessary repairs tomorrow. They're not just maintaining an engine, they're maintaining an entire digital network on wheels. And if you think a $20 sensor causing a $5,000 repair sounds unbelievable, wait until you discover the hidden software locks that can prevent perfectly functional truck parts from working at all. That's a story every modern truck owner needs to hear before the next warning light appears.